Alrighty, we are live. I think Doug is not quite ready yet because he's not at the tables, but just want to shout out everybody in the stream, in the chat here so far. We got One-Legged Donkey, Daniel, B. Dalam, Complete Wash, Heather, Frank, Ursula, Sean, Matthew, Chuck, William. Sean asks, whatever happened to you? I was a big fan of the vlog from here in Maryland. Played MGM and live like you. You were doing so many vlogs and vanished. What happened? Well, COVID happened for the most part. But aside from COVID, I was just playing less live. And less live means less live content. So that's pretty much where we were at. Looks like Doug is just about ready to go, I think. So let's go to table view here. And get some music because I cannot listen to the sound of my own voice for this long without some music. Whoa, that's loud. And you guys should let me know in a second how the volume is. All right, now you should be able to hear that. Man, that chat's pretty small for you guys, huh? See if I can make this chat bigger on the actual game screen. Let's go back to webcam mode here while I get my tables up. They're password protected, so I don't want to like give it away. Oh, it doesn't show it anyway, I think. Alrighty, we need we want auto top up because we have to play minimum. Oh, it's auto anyway. Auto top up. Okay. Okay, so I think we're good here. Okay. So we're gearing up. Should have sent you an email. You can still send me an email, Jerry. Doug will still be playing some. I'm just not sure if he'll be playing any like small stakes anymore. So we'll have to see. I'm just gonna sit out so he doesn't like surprise me sitting down while I'm getting the other game going. And we can show it in dollars. Actually, sounds like he needs like a couple minutes, but should be here pretty soon. So we can take a little more time to get acquainted with the chat here. I hope Doug wins only because I want him to crush D-Negs. Listen, man, versus me. He's playing massive stakes versus D-Negs. He could lose to me. It has nothing to do with nothing to do with what else is going on. And we are here in the mix, ready to go. Very first hand is a pretty good hand. Yes, I'm Scourge on Global, but I don't really play much on Global. Jeremy, yeah, I do. I have you on WhatsApp, I'm pretty sure. Just haven't used WhatsApp in forever. What can Doug be doing? Let's go. Leon wants me to go all in. Good thing verbal is not binding. You need louder music, Bryce? Are you saying the music needs louder? We only have one table up anyway. Let's go to one table view. Uh-oh, not registered for WhatsApp. GG, Matt. I just figure you're probably better than D-Nags. I could be better than D-Nags at heads up. It's possible. That's not crazy. But D-Nags also has access to some pretty great players. All right, so now we do have two tables up and going here. I apologize. The transition like delay is kind of awkward. It's kind of lagging for me, so hopefully it's not too bad. One table view easier to see. Yeah, you probably can't really see the chat on the smaller one, huh? We'll keep it on one table view. Somebody wants me to shove flop on the Jack 8. And it's BJ. No surprise. Alright, let's like focus on a little bit of poker here, shall we? Snap called by Ace High. Nice life. Yeah, I'm not sure why the latency is worse today. I'm going to try to clean up some of my sources so that it's not too bad. Can get rid of this one for sure. Addison asked, do you have a delay so we can't see whole cards? I do not have a delay. You are seeing real time, just plus a little bit of latency. But this is like sanctioned, basically. How long have you all been playing for? About 6 minutes? 5 minutes? We could blast off here, but I don't think there's really a reason to with so little equity. We could potentially check back turn bet river to get him off of a 5 at some frequency, but we probably have to go big if we're going to do that. Oh, how long will we play for? We will play for roughly 4 hours. He leads river and we don't like block any strong hands, so we're just gonna let this one go. From what I've seen of Polk start, he should quit or have 10% of himself against D-Negs. I mean, like, D-Negs is not a heads-up specialist, so I think that you shouldn't necessarily expect that it's going to be indicative. His start is going to necessarily be indicative of how he plays against D-Negs. You also have to keep in mind that, like, sorry, my music is a little loud. It's a little too distracting for me. I'm going to turn it down for me and maybe up for you guys. Just a little bit. Yeah, basically Doug's not watching. He doesn't care. He's using this for practice. He would never, first of all, he just wouldn't cheat, but he also definitely wouldn't cheat over something like this. Does Doug have 100% of himself in the match against D-Negs? I would assume he does, or at least a big fraction. They also have a side bet, too. Brian asked if I'm still in Maryland. No, I'm not still in Maryland. I live in Vegas now. I just moved a little bit ago. Literally been in the new place for like 4 weeks or something. This is a 3-bet pot, by the way. I think you guys might have missed some of the action of the hand, but we call a C-bet. He checks turn, which I think means we can probably bet for value here. At a very high frequency. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I had auto reload set up. I'll have to try to figure that out in a sec. I think we can definitely jam for value here. Might be a little bit thin, but I think first dog we're gonna get called by like most ace-x in range. We only lose to ace queen, ace king, and he should have way more ace-x than... Well, we lose to other 2 pairs, like I guess ace 4 gets there on river, but... What's your biggest tournament score so far in your career? I've had live scores right over a couple of times. Same hand. Too bad. I thought we were going to win that hand if he called. Okay, I think I have auto top up at least set up correctly now. Sean, I've had a few $40,000 scores. Had a few $40,000 scores live, and then I've won like between 10 and 18K like a handful of times online, like maybe 5 times online. Live I have a lot of scores in between like 10 and 20K. We do make the flush here. It rates to be good at a pretty high frequency. It's also hard for him to have a lot of like bluff raises on this board, I think. He's super loaded and doesn't need the money for sure. That's funny. I mean, yeah, like he's not doing this for the money for sure. So there are some boats here, I suppose. You can have 9s, you can have like a couple of checkbacks that make boats Sun turn a river. He can have deuces full. But this is a pretty strong hand in range. I'm kind of leaning toward just calling off and seeing what's going on here. Well, that's too bad. He's going to have the ace of spades a lot, which is why I tanked that long in the first place. I don't know if that's an obvious snap call, because like it is kind of hard to pick bluffs on that board. But yeah, I don't think I'm realistically folding. Just kind of sucks to lose the hand. BJ asks if I'm planning on vocalizing your thought process during hand. So there's a lot of people watching right now compared to my typical. There's 174 of you guys, which is awesome. That's amazing. I'm super pumped to have all of you here. But it does mean that it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to both focus on playing, trying not to make any gigantic mistakes, and still kind of keep up. Tyler, the delay ain't even long. Why is this? Because there's no delay. Your time, your ability to judge time is on point here. Let me see if I can close even more windows, because it's getting a little bit of lag on my end. I don't want to screw you guys up too bad. This kind of sucks. This was a 3-bet pot. We decided to check flop. Turn like smashes his range. I think now we're just check, probably calling. It's interesting he doesn't stab there. I kind of thought he would, so he may not, I mean, you know, whatever. I call him down in one hand. Game flow wise, he may choose to kind of bluff a little bit less, but I'm not sure. I sort of think he's probably just working on strategy. I don't think he's necessarily like doing a lot of game flow changes. Hey Matt, hope you're doing well. Good luck today against Doug. You're both great players. This should be a fun match. Well, I do appreciate that. I do think I'm a pretty okay player, but this is definitely his format, not mine. So I think I would say the advantage is with him, to say the least. Flop ourselves top pair. It's always nice. You're the man, Matt. Props for taking this challenge on. You got this. Thanks, Steven. Appreciate that, man. It's definitely fun to have so many of you guys in the chat. It's a rare opportunity to get to play somebody like Doug. I don't know how many top pairs he is checking back, so I'm not exactly sure how I want to approach this spot. In general, I think when he checks back flop, he has fewer of them, so I'm kind of inclined to go big and put pressure on his weaker range. So I think we might just go pot. Are you playing on the other table as well? Yes, Derek. Sorry, Richard. Richard, yes, I'm playing 2 tables right now. I'm just focusing on the 1 table view, but you can see that I have two tables up. So, but this is the one that's most interesting at the moment. We're probably going to overbet here, I think. Yeah, we are going to overbet. This is our first overbet against him. Derek says, my sister wants to know if you're single. I am very much not single. Nice that we got a little action there versus the 9. Not surprised to see him call with that hand, but it's nice that he had that hand instead of like a, I don't know, weak ace high or something. No, I am very much not single though. I have been with my fiance for a little over 10 years now, so we just got engaged. So that's we actually have 10s on both tables right now. Kind of funny. We will bet this one though. We block some of the hands that he can call with, but in general, we don't want to use a tiny size on that board. This one, we just check back, kind of hits a lot more of his range. And there's fewer hands he can call with that we beat. But we can bet now. $200 people and 40 likes. Smash that like button. Thanks, Heather. Appreciate that. Yeah, I would very much appreciate it if you would smash that like button. Yeah, I mean, you can press it gently, I guess. I'm not that picky. But we just take that one down. Make sure I get an invite to the wedding, Matt. I'm a day one ride or die. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. We check back turn on this board, and then river brings in flush. He's probably allowed to bet pretty big here at some frequency. He can hold the ace of hearts here, and it's a little more likely we would bet ace of hearts, but we could check back made flushes at some frequency too. I think we are just going to bet kind of a catch-all size. 10 cent on both tables in honor of 10 years. Nice. Tell your sister I'm single if she wants some. Yikes. Okay. I'll like if you ask. Well, I'm asking. You can do anything in between gently pressing or smashing the hell out of the like button. Whatever floats your boat works for me. It'd be interesting to get raised again on another 4 flush board, but this time we just get called by, it looks like 4th pair. Interesting spot. Smashed it. My mouse button broke. You owe me a new mouse. All right, I guess I better beat Doug then. If I gotta buy people new mouses, mice. It's still mice when it's computer mouse, right? Plural. I always forget. Always forget. Flop a flush draw here with ace king suited. Haven't seen you since Maryland Live like 2 years ago. Well, I have been at Maryland Live in the past 2 years, but not as frequently as some other times. I'm actually just going to check this back on this board. Mason says, LOL, now play Sauce. Yeah, not going to happen. I also don't think Sauce would play me at 2-4 or below. If you get him in a big pot, you have to yell Bazam. Man. It's a little bit of a weird spot because now like ace king of hearts is not as good of a hand to call down with technically as like a non-heart ace king. Still though, a tough stuff missed even disregarding heart draws. We beat every ace high. We don't block any of the straight draws. Zach says no really short delay. That's cool. Yeah, it's no delay. There might be a tiny bit of latency technically between the hands happening and when you're seeing them. That's just from like my computer working hard to run ACR and a stream. But besides that, things are pretty no delay-ish. By the way, whoever said this hairstyle suits me, I appreciate you for the white lie of love. If Doug is stream sniping me, I'm doing pretty well so far. Oh man, I need to start playing faster on this table. My time bank's been falling behind here. I'm actually really curious how much latency there is, but it's hard for me to tell. No reason to bet this hand, I don't think, but we can probably check call it. Don't expect him to. This size is interesting. I don't know if he's like only playing Queen X this way for this size now. It's actually, we have an okay candidate to raise, I think. Maybe 10-9 better. Because we block more Queen X, but Queen 10's a hand he could conceivably play this way. He blocks so many of the calling hands. But I think I'm just going to call. Queen 8. In this hand, we check called flop, and he now overbets turn. Certainly not a fun spot to face an overbet with third pair. Kind of have to figure we're going to face a fair bit of additional bets on river, but we probably want to be calling this hand more than we want to call, like, draws. So I'm going to call. It's a pretty good river. Now we have to call. Whoops. We just ran out of time on the other table. We certainly have to call. I'm wondering if we ever check jam. Wow. That was pretty lucky. Pretty lucky. Gonna get pizza upstairs. Don't do anything crazy while I'm gone. No promises, man. No promises at all. All right, we have to play a little faster on this table because we don't want to time bank out. I just told D-Negs you were playing heads up against Doug Polk, and D-Negs said, who is Matt Vaughn? I guess it's better than him saying, who is Doug Polk, right? That would be a pretty sick burn. That would be a sick burn. 3-bet pot. Who's D-Negs? Sick response. Savage. Is Matt up or down? Matt is currently up, but not up a lot. We are playing this 3-bet pot, though. I think we just want to be trying to shovel the money in some capacity. If we get jammed on here, we'll be I mean, I won't say we're like fist pump snapping, but we're not folding. That's for sure. We lose to a couple of additional hands now, but not many. How do you feel about D-Negs? How do you feel about more rake is better? So, you know, I think D-Negs gets a little bit of a bad rap these days, but I think, like, he's just been in the spotlight for so long, and he has a very tough position to just exist in as a under so much scrutiny all the time. And it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to like always say the right thing. You know what I mean? I think I grew up watching him, so he was one of my favorite players. And you know, you watch a player sort of change and be changed by by the game around him and by the industry too, because like he has to, like, he's a site rep and then he's trying to be this interesting persona and stay relevant, all this stuff. Like I think it's pretty tough to do. But yeah, he's made some mistakes. I think everybody has. I don't necessarily like dislike him. I know a lot of people right now, it's a little fun to hate Negreanu. I don't hate Negreanu. We're gonna triple this one. Snapped by an 8. No surprises there. We do block a lot of 8x. We unblock most of the straight draws. So I'm okay with that one. Stream has developed a lag. It says I have excellent connection. So you're going to have to be more specific about the lag. He's loosey-goosey. Yes, this is a cash game, heads up. Anybody know when the time bank refills? He just rants about blocking people and flips out. I admittedly have not really watched any Negreanu streams. I like tuned in for maybe 5 minutes of one and was not really engaged by it, so I left. Sound is not in sync with image. Well, I'm sorry about that. I can't really do a lot about that. I can kind of keep closing down tabs and stuff, but ACR is just like notoriously bad for Mac. The software is just awful. So we're just kind of fighting a little bit of a losing battle. I'm just going to check call here, actually, I think, to a big size. Been a D-Negs fan for 20 years. Doug's a cool dude, but he was a a-hole for coming at the face of poker. I think it's overblown how he's come at D-Negs. Interesting he chooses a smaller size. I wonder if I can check raise instead. But like, there's a lot of hands that beat us here. There's diamonds, there's straights. But he can value bet some weaker queen X this way. I just don't know. I'm a little worried about blasting him off of worse holdings, but I think we're going to go for it. Just get the fold. It's also not bad if he just folds. He gets less information. You need to win to get a proper computer then. See, that's the problem. It's not a problem with my computer. This computer is a workhorse, man. It can stream everything except ACR just fine. ACR just like destroys the processing on Mac. The software is just that bad. It's just that bad. How can you play without delay? A lot of people have been asking that. It's no delay because Doug is playing for practice. And also because I think of him as a guy with integrity. So like, I'm not really worried about him coming after the stream to win a couple $100 off of me. I just don't think that's gonna happen. Lost respect for both because of the whole feud. Whoever wins can't say a damn thing after. That's a fair perspective. I think feuds like these are, they get a little overblown. And then, it's like not good for poker because it just creates, the ability to have something to talk about. We're over here talking about it. I was able to create this stream out of it and stuff like that. Oh, wait, Grinder. Hi, is this the Matt Vaughn channel? Am I in the right room? You are in the right room, sir. You are definitely in the right place. We are going to go for the overbet when he checks back. Not a big one though. Just a tiny little one over the size of the pot. And this is a spot where like, now if we get raised, we could probably just fold because he can play ace-x of clubs, or the ace of clubs this way. He can also have the straight flush. We do just get called though. Oh, very lucky that he had such a strong hand. Oh, whoever loses the Poke D-Next challenge better not say a word. Yeah, that makes a little more sense. Little more sense. If you had to send one person on a one-way ticket to the sun in a spaceship, would you send Doug or D-Negs? I would not pick either of them. If I had to pick one person to send into the sun, it would not be either of them. Like, there are way worse people in the world. I'm obviously going to struggle to come up with any like names off the top of my head, but there, I mean, there's way worse. Believe me this. Seems like it's not just that he has one wrong opinion. It's more like a symptomatic of a general worldview for D-Negs hating pros and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, like he definitely, he's had somewhat of a weird take, but I also think his take has been bastardized a lot over the years. It's kind of not fair to fully assign to him. Send Trump. All right, we're gonna stay away from politics on the stream. I just meant there's a lot of bad people in the world. All right, you know, there are a lot of people who have done a lot of wrong, and even staying completely out of the political spectrum, there's plenty to complain about in the world. After hearing everyone's perspective on Doug, I hope you crush him for 25 buy-ins and Doug quits poker forever for real this time. Well, okay, thank you, I guess. Interesting run out. We could potentially check raise if he was to bet. We have like a just 0 showdown value hand here. I checked back flop and started barreling turn. I don't really know if I love my line here, but we did it. Not surprised to see that call. Yeah, I don't like my line because I don't think I'm surprised when he calls with like second or third pair. Doug's got to be mad full time banking every time. I mean, he knows I'm streaming. So it's like, it's a little bit different. But yeah, I'm trying to play faster also so that I actually have a time bank for the tougher spots. Once chat slows down a little more, it's a little easier to like settle in and kind of know what's going on. We're peeling a 1/3 flop C bet on this board, and we pick up a gutter as well, so definitely not folding to another bet. I think a decent amount of his 2 clubs barrel, so I think we'll likely just win at showdown here most of the time. Alexi says, mod hat on, guys, cool it with the politics. Yeah, we want to kind of keep it away from politics if we can. It's just gonna, we don't need this stream to devolve into that. He does bet again. We block straights. We don't block any flushes though. He can have like second pair or something, but just gonna go for the call. All right. We've been calling pretty light, pretty wide, so might have to like kind of cool it down here. Your chat is too much of a D-Negs love fest. It's making me ill. Gotta run. Good luck. All right, Joe. Take care. Big B, man. I really want to keep watching, but I just bubbled a live event, and I want to get playing on Party Poker. Good luck, Matt, and good luck, Poke. First of all, pick a damn side. Second of all, you can do both. Why don't you do both? We're just playing 2 tables. I forget who asked that. Oh, Alex. Alex, we're just playing 2 tables. Nothing crazy. With Ace of Diamonds, I would really like check raising, but this is not a bad hand to check raise. I just don't think we have to when we also have Ace High. Ace of Diamonds is a little better because then you can just kind of keep barreling. Pick up a double gutter to the very non-nuts. So it's not like a great spot for us, but we could potentially check raise here. Are you listening to Bump and Grind by R. Kelly? No. I think our hand rates to be good at a reasonable frequency here. But if he bets, it's not going to be good that often anymore, and check raising again has probably a little more merit than check calling, I think. But calling can't be terrible when we block straights. It's just that there's a lot of ways that he can have one pair. It's harder for him to have straights. Summary so far is just that I'm neither up nor down a lot of money yet. We check raise because I think he has too many 1-pair holdings, but a check raise I think is going to get through a lot of those 1-pairs. Did you go to Jersey and play in any of the WSOP events? Sonny, no, I did not. I was in the process of just moving pretty much, and that was about all I could handle. So we also traveled home to visit family before leaving because we knew COVID was like going to be a pretty big factor. So we decided to see them before moving because we didn't know if we'd be flying again like anytime soon. Oh wait, Grinder into house. What are the chances Doug is taking this seriously? 100%. I agree with SP. He's like almost certainly taking this very seriously. We're gonna call river once we check back turn. We're always calling. Kind of unfortunate he improves there, but very easy call. Chip extractor, donate in the $5 live chat. One big blind, maybe the difference. Love you, bro. With a typo on love. Maybe he just means Livia. I don't know. But thanks, buddy. Really appreciate you being here, as always. So much for the silent rail, though. Couldn't help yourself, huh? Just couldn't help yourself. Mass Transit asks, what's color up site that you play on? Did you just call me a jack high? Huh. On the other table. Interesting. Is it a club or something? No, it's a browser-based site. It's not a club, although I do affiliate with them. So like I bring on players who are on my group, and we have like private games that we can play in, but it's not technically a club in the sense that there's no private player pools. Like everybody can see all the tables and stuff like that. But yeah, I play most of my cash games over there. I'm really only on ACR for tournaments for the most part. What is the state of the Maryland area casinos at the moment, Matt? Alex, I actually don't know because I have been in Vegas for the last 4 weeks and I didn't go to play, at all upon them opening. So School of Cards with the $9.99 live chat donation. Thanks for that. Is School of Cards Blake? I would assume that that's Blake. That's a pretty safe assumption. So cheers. I send $10 because I play a lot bigger than Chip Extractor. That's fair. We make 2 pair here and face the overbet, which is really interesting because I was probably going to check raise this hand, but facing an overbet, I think now we just check call. We don't really want to check raise versus the overbet. It's a pretty bad river. Clubs come in, we don't block them. But we do still have one of the better hands on our range. But I wonder if like now having ace-x with a club would be a better continue versus a big bet. If he jams, it's a pretty shit spot. He's seen us call down pretty light to pretty big sizes, so from a game flow perspective, I would maybe expect him to bluff marginally less in this spot. He does go for an overbet, but it's like 1.6-ish. I mean, I just don't know if we're really ever folding here. It's just our hand's just so strong. He can play hands like this for value that beat us, obviously, but I just don't know that I can let it go when I'm this strong. Yeah, nice to get that one through. Nice to win that hand. That's a good one to win. That's your raise for this year, Matt. That's funny. Flop bet, check, turn, value bet river, and just a little bit of a cooler there. Second pair versus third. How did you go about finding your apartment in Vegas, says Vlad? So we just started out like coming in January. We already knew we were planning to move here, but we ended up delaying from April to July just because of the COVID situation. We wanted to kind of get the lay of the land a bit more. But we were apartment hunting in January. We just basically looked at different parts of town. We asked friends who live here. We ended up kind of checking out probably like 10 or 12 different spots. Actually, we looked at a lot of different places. Looked at a lot of different places and settled on a few that we liked, but then one of our friends actually found out that we were going to be moving. And basically proposed that he buy a place sort of like in conjunction with us. So like checking out different places and deciding which one he would buy and then rent it to us. So that was like a much better deal for us. We ended up getting a really sweet place in a good part of town for a pretty good deal on rent. So that's all, that's all pretty unique to me, unique to my situation, and just having somebody who kind of was able to approach me like that. But there were a lot of apartment complexes that we liked, and there were a couple that we would have settled on that we were fine living with. I'm having a little trouble keeping up with chat here, so I'm just trying to read. So if I'm missing you for a couple minutes, don't freak out. I swear I am mostly catching up on things here. Negreanu versus Polk, I don't think has a set date yet, as far as like when it's going to happen. They were estimating end of September, early October though, or at least Doug was. You should start a beef with Brad or Nemi so we can see a blogger heads up grudge match. I can come up with rumors if you want. I've thought about that, man. I've thought about the fact that like most of the vloggers, like for the most part, get along. There's like not that many beefs. And it was just kind of funny because like I just don't have beefs with anybody. I'm timing out over here. All right, catching up. You're crushing Doug Polk. I'm not really crushing him. I'm just running, marginally hotter than him. Oh shit, did I just get kicked off the table? Oh, okay. I was worried I got kicked off the table there for a second. All right, Doug is tired of us time banking for like pre-flop opens, so we're gonna try to speed it up here. Chat will understand. I don't know about that. After COVID, when and where is the next meetup game? No idea yet. No idea yet. Matt, you need to go get a Tesla like Jamin and Boski and all the other vloggers. Yeah, I can't really afford that just yet. Sorry. Gotta go, but I'll try to check you later. May the force be with you and your dope hairstyle. All right, thanks, BJ. Take care, man. Thanks for dropping in. Someone said that to him on his stream. Funny. Getting a challenger so I can pollute the atmosphere on behalf of all of them. I think your uploads are crawling a bit. There's latency between chaining tables and your vocals / what we see. Just want to make sure you knew. I vote Mug at the Orleans. Yeah, I appreciate it. I can't really do anything about it, unfortunately. ACR is just taking up so many of all my processing power, basically. 3-bit pot here. We flop a flush draw. There are now boats available. Not a fun spot to be in, but I think this board favors me. So I think blasting off here is okay. We're 500 deep. SPR is like 4-ish. So I think pot setting up jam is not bad. We're gonna like lose the hand a lot, but we're also gonna just sometimes get him off of ace king, ace queen, and maybe on 2 streets we can get him off of even better. So nice one to just win on turn, though. Why do I know so many people in here? Oh, wait, Grinder, it's because you brought so many to me. That's why. Ace high with a gutter. I don't think there's any real reason to bet here. We have a ton of showdown value. Good music, Matt. Do you listen type? Oh, negative rip. Did I just forget how to speak English there for a second, or what's the deal? We river a pair, flush comes in, 4 card straight comes in to the 8. Trying to think of what logical bluffs he even has. He has to like kind of go ham with some hands, but I think he probably will. He can do this with like ace of clubs, something. Versus this size. We have a fair bit of 8x, so I wonder if we can just fold this pair, but that seems a little bit nitty. Little bit nitty. Yeah, so I mean he's going for it. He has the no straight blocker, no I guess he blocks 3-4. But he has no club in hand either, so like yeah, he's definitely kind of going for it there. Today's music is non-copyright, correct. We'll peel the gutter and backdoor flush draw here. Double gutter actually. Turn card removes a few bluffs. Or, I mean, a few value hands, rather. You may not recognize me without the wrench. That's funny, Heather. Everyone has those computer chairs now. Are they promoting with online people more? I'm not really sure what you mean if you're talking about my chair. My chair is just a standard, like, it basically came as a package with my desk or something like that. It's not a gaming chair. I think we repeal one more here versus the size. That's a good card for us to bluff. If he checks, if he continues, then we kind of just, I think, have to give it up. But I think this is a pretty good spot to just rip all in. He shouldn't have as much Jack X as us. And he can have like 9s, 9-5 that isn't a shit spot here now. Which he may still not fold, obviously, but I don't think this holding... I mean, it sucks we block a lot of his bluffs as well, because we want him to have a bluff here, but it's just too good of a river card for us to not blast on, I think. It's like a lot better for our range. Next vid at Jamin Burton. That cartoon had made me in tears of laughter. That's funny. Oh, man. All right, my heart rate got up a little bit on that one. A little bit up on that one. Second pair, pretty easy call. We also have backdoor, which we pick up, although it's not the backdoor we'd prefer. Taking the extra medium tank. Extra medium? What, like, are you, like, I know I'm kind of like getting a little skinny fat during COVID, but I don't need the extra, I don't think. Just medium. We face pot size here, but with gutter and pair not going away. Hey, good luck, Andrew Nemi. You can beat Doug for sure. Andrew Nemi? I don't know. Am I supposed to look like him? Because I don't think that's true. I've been told I look like Brad Owen, though. We'll probably just fold if we get blasted into here with the 7-5. We just, like, don't block anything important. And we have fourth pair now. So, unfortunately, he just gets to win. Over on this table, we flop ourselves pair and open-ended, but we have enough showdown value. No real need to check raise here. Straight comes in, which is interesting. It's kind of a better card for our range. Not maybe substantially, but I'm going to lead it. Pretty bad card to continue on, I think. He has a lot of heart combos and such. So we're just going to check. The hair looks a bit like Ace Ventura. Well, it's supposed to look like Doug, but my hair, it's like a very different type of hair than Doug's. So we're probably not going to look a whole lot like him. Zachary Hill says, how many tables? We are just playing 2 tables heads up here. Best stream ever, no pun intended? Okay, maybe a little pun intended. So I realized I wasn't showing this table, but we ended up in this 4-bet pot blasting off with King High and managed to get it through. So that was nice. Just joking, my friend, your hair looks just fine. Well, it's funny because, like, I'm not going to take offense to how the hair looks because I'm not, this is not like my regular hair. Not my regular hair at all. Is Doug Polk still relevant? I mean, define relevant. Like, the guy is willing to play 200, 400 coming out of retirement. So I would say that's relevant to the poker community, especially because it's going to generate a lot of viewership and it's generating all these cool heads-up matches which are being viewed by many in the poker community. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty relevant. Maybe you don't, but that's fair. Ryan says, do you play much online heads up? I do not play much online heads up cash, no. It's not a common format for me, but I have been playing a lot in prep for this match. And I'm pretty studied just from like a raw fundamental standpoint, and heads up is largely fundamentals, but with very wide ranges. So I've actually been getting a little bit out of line versus him in this session, but this is an interesting spot. We unblock a lot of the draws. So I think I'm going to peel 1 and likely give up river. Well, especially if river brings in every single draw. Like literally every single draw. Who the F wants to watch a poker live stream without seeing a person's whole cards? Well, I would just say that, well, we have quads on the other table. No, but I would just say that, like, doesn't want to be exploited by Negreanu and his ability to have other people go watch streams for him. Anyway, we have quads. We check called flop. Check call, I mean, check raising turn just feels like pretty hard to get action, but it also feels like he might not think we would do this with quads. So, I mean, it can't be that bad. It's also just like a little hard for him to continue, but I think we want to do this on turn to build pot. I would love to see him rip here, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Doug is ethically sound in terms of the delay. I agree. Macberg, there is no delay. He calls, which is a good sign. I'm definitely tempted to overbet jam because we've been overbetting a fair bit, and we've been getting a fair bit of fold. So from a game flow perspective, if he has something to continue to the check raise with, I think we may get called non-zero here. It's like 2.5x overbet. And the only bad thing about this is, like, there's no blockers. Blockers just don't exist. So it's really hard for him to, like, put us on air when, like, he knows that if we have air, we can't really block, like, anything as far as quads go. Is this the same song again? Seems like the same song again. Let's skip this song. We river top pair here. Nice life. Everybody who thinks like having no delay is ballsy, it's not really about the like it's not about having balls, it's just that he is playing for practice, so there's like really no incentive to him. He's about to play like, you know, whatever, I don't know, 100 times the stakes with Negreanu. So we check back flop here, call turn, make top pair on river, so we'll be calling a bet. Interesting, he just bets a third. We'll just call, no reason to do anything else. Okay. Funny. Interesting size there. I would expect him to have bet closer to half with that hand, but kind of want to watch that hand later. Watching this on stream and at the table at the same time. Well, just don't get any funny ideas about chatting information to him and we'll be good. Bruce says you're doing great. Good luck for the rest of the stream. Oh, the session. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for dropping in. We have some backdoors here. Pick up one of them, although it's a card that will help his range a fair bit here. Not gonna quite go as big based on the stack sizes behind. We beat a couple of hands now, so I'm somewhat inclined to just check behind rather than bluff. I'm not sure kings or queens are folding anyway. Yeah. How many years have you been making a go at poker as a career? Well, I haven't really ever played full time, but I've been playing in some kind of like semi-pro-ish capacity for about the last 4 years. No HUD ever or just for heads up? I use a HUD when I'm playing tournaments, when I'm playing a lot of tables, but I don't use a HUD very often for cash. You forget the huge ego. He may not care about losing 2K. He probably cares about being made to look like a weak tool. Well, I don't think I'm accomplishing that versus him, but sure. I just think you guys have to understand, like, when he's about to go play somebody for 100 times these stakes, like, his incentive is to get practice. It's not to, you know, win dollars here or not look bad here or whatever. You could argue this is like a little bit thin, but I don't think he checks back a ton of queen X on flop, and he can have 3X, deuce X, ace highs that will call us down here. Like that one. And then over on this table, we have top pair and call down 3 streets first, kings, and lose. Is Bitcoin the best transaction for online poker in the US? Yes, without a question. That is absolutely true right now. Didn't know he was coming out of retirement. That's crazy. And he's playing on ACR. Yeah, well, he's playing on ACR because they like helped set up private tables and whatnot. Uh-oh, did our music just go away? I think our music just went away. We want pop? Do we think the pop's going to be any good? I don't know. Let's try 2000s rock, shall we? Let's see if that's any good. Agree with Bruce. You're doing very well and love to hear your thoughts out loud. Very educational. Well, thanks, man. I mean, this is not my primary game in the slightest, so for sure feels good to hear some positive comments about it, but I am definitely struggling in some of these spots because I just don't play them a whole lot. Joe S with the $9.99 live chat. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Doesn't even have a message. Just gives me the $9.99. Thanks, man. Almost 2.5 big blinds there. I'm gonna need the help. The ink in Japan. I feel like you said Doug is one of the biggest egos in the world. I wouldn't trust him not to snipe. You're kind of missing like the point though. Like it's not that I trust, I mean, first of all, I do trust him not to snipe just on integrity alone, but that's not why I don't think he'll do it. It's that he doesn't have the incentive to do it. He's about to play, 100 times the stakes here. Why would he snipe this stream and rob himself of the practice? It's just silly, in my opinion. So, like, most people I've talked with agree with that, but, you don't have to agree with me, obviously. 4-bet pot here with 9s. We're actually pretty deep. No, we're not actually that deep because I forgot he won some chips off of me. But because we're a little shorter now, I think we just bet rip turn on most turn cards or get it in versus jam here. King's an interesting card. I think he'll just get it in with King's pre a lot. But he has some King X of clubs type hands. I just don't think we like almost any river cards here. So I'm still going to stick with the plan and jam. That's pretty shitty. 4-bet pot, so, you can't really do a whole lot there. We are, I think, officially down in the stream. We do him one better and flop a straight back, but I don't think we're going to get stacks in. At least not likely. But we will be check raise here and getting it in on most runouts, but he does check back. Not all that shocking. I think we're going to overbet and try to create a bigger pot, represent a narrower range. What will you do if you win? How will you celebrate? Concrete, maybe? A concrete from Nielsen's, perhaps. This could perhaps be the case. Pretty good card. We only lose to one hand that came in here. And he has a decent amount of Jack X that check back this flop, call turn, have to call river, I think. I'm going to go 115. Don't get the action there, and take it down in a 3-bet pot on the other table as well, which looks like we just missed catching up. Mixing up his 4-bet calling range, I guess. I don't think that's a particularly unusual call for a 4-bet spot in a heads-up match, honestly. Doug is playing with a 15,000 buy-in bankroll right there. No disrespect intended, but it's funny he's playing low to mid-stakes players for practice. Shows how much he respects D-Neg's heads-up game. So yes, but he's been moving up. So he started out at 1-2, then Then 2-4, 3-6, 5-10. He's even been playing a little bit of 10-20. So I don't think that's necessarily all that crazy. We do flop a boat here against him, and I think we'll be check raising again. Picks a 1/3 size, so we should be continuing very frequently against this and check raising at some frequency as well. He does call, so that's a good start. We might, if he calls turn, go for check jam on river. I'm not sure. I think that might be better. But he just folds, unfortunately, and we take down a medium-sized one there. We're going to check back in the 3-bet pot here with bottom pair. We could probably benefit from some equity denial here, a little bit of value. Pistol Pete, hey, I'm new. Sling me a shout out. All right, you got it, man. There's your shout out. Peter Ty says you plan on staying in Vegas long term. Not really sure yet. We'll have to kind of see how it goes. We'll check back this river. I think he has a lot of like ace-10 hands that can call and a lot of ace-king hands that will not. So we'll just check that back. And on our other table, we have second pair. We will be value betting. When he 3-bets 40 over 10, you don't have to call that wide. I think have to is a kind of weird word. There's already some hands I'm full. I don't want to get like too deep into how I'm structuring these ranges, but like there are already some hands I'm folding that other people would definitely call. Definitely don't have to call a middling suited double gapper. Yeah, I think 9-6 suited is definitely like right at the borderline there. With this queen, it actually removes some combos, but it also brings in some. So I think we check back now and take showdown value. Meanwhile, over here, we check back flop and pick up a straight draw. Armando says, good luck, Matt. I talked to school cards, by the way. Thanks for the info. Yeah, man, no problem. Until this vlogger gets evicted and takes a Greyhound back to whatever Rust Belt town he came from. Wow. Ouch. Harsh. Yeah, I don't know if I like that bet by me, actually. Kind of weird spot. I have to think about it some more. Easy check, bro. Stop stunting. You don't know me very well if you think any spot is just like a clear-cut easy check for me. I'm not sure what hand that's referring to because there's a little bit of lag, but that's funny. Now it seems harsh. Yeah. Yes, it does. It does seem harsh. Kind of wanted to lead, but I'd much rather have a spade in hand if we were going to do that. I apologize for putting you in that geographical region. That's funny. So my parents grew up in Cleveland. We want to go bigger than this, I think. 3/4 is fine. My parents grew up in Cleveland area, so I probably sound most like I'm from Cleveland or something. Doug just snap called fourth pair. Yeah, but that's not really surprising because of the sizing I chose. The line I chose was sort of bad because I'm repping like I can have top pair there, and I just probably can't. I think his call is probably fine. I would have taken longer with it personally, but I don't think he has to. I mean, there's no reason, by the way, there's like no reason to take a while if you know what you're going to do, basically. I'm backing you, mate. Good luck watching in London. 12:22 a.m. Yikes. We've got another 2.5 hours, so good luck. Nice to take down some of the medium-sized pots here. Small to medium pots. We make 2 pair here, so we can probably check raise for value. We also have the queen high flush draw to go with it. But he checks back, and we river the flush. I think we just check to let him stab. I think he's largely very weak here. We also block a lot of the hands he might want to check for showdown value, like a queen X hand. Queen X, 5X, etc. all have some showdown value. I think we can check raise this. It's a little, probably like a little thin. Cleveland is pretty rusty. That's true. I admire anyone that can make a serious living or income from poker. You clearly have more drive than I do. I mean, so I think poker definitely takes a drive, but it helps that it's a game. You know, it really helps that to some element, it's just, a lot of it's really fun. All right, let's, whoopsie. I did not mean to fold that hand pre. I'm hoping somebody managed to link my live stream here because it would be a little bit sad if they did not. I'm in like so many Discords and Slack groups and whatnot. It's like hard to keep track sometimes. He bets pot here in this 3-bet pot, but with top pair, we're still not folding. River is going to be pretty interesting. Nice to get that one. On this table, we called flop, check, turn. We made the straight on the turn, so very easy value bet here. Would be very interesting if he raised, because he's sort of repping like threes full kind of hand. Second pair here, once again. You're gonna flop a lot of second pairs while playing heads up, that's for sure. Can we expect a vlog review of this session sometime in February? If I do a vlog review of this, I'll probably just like literally slice up a few of the interesting hands, like maybe, I don't know, 10 to 20 or something like that. Not a great turn. Gives us second best much more often than not. We don't have a spade in hand for backup equity. Nothing great about it. We could probably bet and sometimes get action from a 7 or a deuce or something with blockers, but I think it's better to just check eval here. Yeah, Alexi's sort of got the right feeling here. Like, we might do some kind of highlight reel, but we probably won't do an actual review given that I'm doing all of this in real time too. I think we call this one. He has enough bluffs here, I think. We'll have a queen at a pretty high frequency. And his weaker king X, that all makes sense. Who's your favorite mod on Landon's new server? God damn it. It only takes one. Are you a mod? Do I have to say you? That's funny. We put in the 4-bet here. I think at these depths he might not have a 5-bet range, but I'm not really sure. Matt, tell us what you think Mike Postle's doing nowadays. Keeping his head low, I think, is what I would suspect. He does flat the 4-bet. We flop open-ended. SPR of 2.5. This kind of sucks, but I think we're probably getting the right equity. He can do this with King 10, some flush draws, stuff like that. Wow, he really had all of it. Jesus. That's pretty crazy. We're officially stuck piles. I'd have to review that one. It's always tough when you block the things you want him to sort of be doing it with, but we didn't block flush draws at least. We only blocked straight draws. So, I don't know. I mean, like, I think that's a close spot. I kind of called fast for how close I think it was, but I don't have a lot of my time bank, so. He's so far actually, like, at first I was gonna say we're not running that bad, but we're running pretty bad when he keeps having basically the stone nuts in 4-bet pots, like Queen 9 of diamonds on Jack 9 8 2 diamonds and 7-6 on 5-4-3, both in 4-bet pots where he was not the aggressor. So yeah, it's a little bit rough for sure. It's not a fun one to lose, especially that. That exact holding, because like that exact holding against the rest of our range is not exactly in great shape, but against our exact holding, he's in very good shape. Wendell says you play the ace-10 offsuit fine. Unlucky. I mean, I think I played it fine. I just don't think it's... I don't think it's like a super snap. Like, I think maybe with ace of diamonds you could just fold. Yeah, we're not stuck like piles, actually. Let's see. Because we got 900 something on the other table. So I think he's up 2 buy-ins or something like that. You like it rough, Matt. You will be fine. That's true. I play MTTs, so that's pretty much accurate. Matt, I should know this already, but are you a full-time pro or is this a side job for you? So like poker in general is pretty much my job. I work for a poker training site called School of Cards, and then I, play for income on the side as well. But I've never really had to play full-time hours to generate money to live, for the most part. This hand's interesting. We might get called by ace high at some frequency. 4x is a pretty decent part of his range. So yeah, I'm gonna value bet. But he just has a queen. And over on the other table, we go for an overbet. We call flop, check, check, turn, overbet river. It's a board that very heavily favors me after I check call the preflop aggressor. Made a homemade milkshake and it's kind of gross. I'm going to finish it anyway because I made it. All right, fair enough. Yet another 3 or 4 bet pot here, 3+ bet pot. We flop just absolute garbage here. We technically have a backdoor gutter to the 8 high straight, but that's really all of it. So we're just going to be folding to this bet. It's interesting how different people define poker professional. Yeah. A lot of people would sort of like, so I've never really called myself a poker professional, but it's sometimes easier to say that I like just do poker for a living rather than say all of the disparate ways that I get income out of being around and in the game. But we might check raise this board. We have a lot of backdoor potential. Hearts, 6 high straight. We also have queen high. Backdoor trip, bro. Backdoor trips draw, bro. You always have a backdoor trips draw, at least. He doesn't let us put in the check raise, though. We could go for another check raise here. I think that's okay with hearts. I think we just bet small now and maybe get him off of like a better queen high or something. Don't have to check, let him win with jack high. Yeah, it might not be a good bet because he has ace high here a lot, I think. Might be better to go large only. Not sure. But I'd like to be able to value bet like all my 1 pairs there, and I don't think we want a big size if I'm doing that. I'm either a poker pro or just retired, whatever works for you. I'm not sure people would take it the same way if I said I was retired, though. Backdoor trip straw is true degen thinking. I like it. Yeah, this much is true. This much is true. Kind of annoying board. We have backdoors to the very non-nutted hands. Just gonna fold the queen high. And one of the worst 9s we can have. We're also definitely not running great in terms of pre-flop holdings. Like we've had 10, for the most part, we just won them in with them. Is that true? I feel like I got some weird overbet through with ace king maybe. I don't know. I forget. Yeah, it only takes one. I'm not going to share my monthly income, first of all, because it fluctuates wildly, and second of all, because I don't really share my financial situation publicly. I'll like, you know, I'll tell people what stakes I play. Like, you know, I'm a relatively frugal person, so you can assume that I'm not like spending $20,000 a month or whatever. But yeah, not gonna. What limit it takes to generate it on your part-time play schedule. I can tell you what games I play. I mean, I play anywhere from like 100 NL up to like 2.5 PLO on mine. Although 2.5 PLO has been going really bad the last few sessions. We check call flop here in this hand. Check turn. It's a pretty okay turn. Gives him some logical double barrels. Brings in 6-4, which isn't great, I guess, but ace-4. Check, check, and we can just check river here. Don't think we're going to get called by worse. Jack improves some of his holdings to hands that can value bet. He also has been checking back a fair bit of top pair on turn, it seems like. His weaker top pairs. I feel like I'm just always paying off a queen or a jack here. I'm not sure he has a lot of... I'm not sure if he has a lot worse. But I think we still want to call. Yeah, it kind of sucks. He's just allowed to value bet every jack there. Over on this table, though, we do make a set. And, you know, he's not going to necessarily connect with this board super high frequency, but we definitely want to be building the pot here. There's a lot of hands he has that can put more money in. And we're reasonably deep here. But we just win the check raise this time. Bad bet in a 4-bet pot. Any overpairs jamming? He doesn't have overpairs there at like a super high frequency though. And we blocked some. If it's the 4-bet pot that I think you're talking about, which was a while ago at this point. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Andrew's talking about actually. Sleep is a skill is in the chat, says go Matt. Thank you, thank you. I don't really like how I've been playing the like some of these boards, some of these double paired boards. Not double paired, the single paired boards on the flop. It's making it a little harder for me to play later streets. I think this chat is more of an autocracy. Now that's definitely politics. Peel to ace high here. Gotta get the whole fam supporting, says Blake. Nice. Don't think we necessarily need to bet here. We can potentially... Well, I don't know if we really want to check call, but... I think ace high will be good here often enough to just check. He doesn't seem to have a lot of bet flop check checks, though. Like check turn, check river. I feel like I'm getting shown the weakest jack X here a lot. That's what's been happening like over and over versus the size on river. He seems to be pretty merged with it. So like he might bet a 10 that way, he might bet a jack that way. We got Rob Farha and Kelby Marvin in the chat. What's up, guys? Well, I'm definitely modding Kelby Marvin. maybe, if it will load. Another set for us. I'm not judging your play. Doug is the GOAT. I'm getting to you, Rob. I have to like put... Can we just take a second? Like, how am I just getting super coolered in the 4-bit pots and then taking it down on the flop when I have sets? This sucks. Why does anybody like heads up? Nobody should like heads up. We do have a gutter on this hand. Not going to be folding to 1/3 just yet. Just kind of have to go for it. We get called a lot, though. Yeah, kind of sucks. We're also gonna get picked off here. No, we do get a bluff through over on the other table, so that's nice. A little bit of a bigger pot, but not massive. But they add up. Doug is now leading us by fair bit. I think he's probably up like 1,000 ish, maybe a little under 1,000. We got Ursula in the chat. Ron Zucker, take it down, Matt. I know you're in Las Vegas, but represent the DMV. Nice to have you guys here. Thanks for dropping in. So we flop top pair on this table. We also have trips on the other table. Both we are not the aggressor. Used to play a ton of heads up sit and goes back in the day. I hate it now. Yeah, heads up can be brutal. That's for sure. So we just check call the trips here. We'll be probably just check calling down. And then on this table, we turn trips, which is nice. Probably marginally better for our range than his. We're going to lead this card. The last few times we've led, we have not had it, if that matters. So just so you guys know, I'm capable of having a few leads here. On the other table, we get overbet into, which is not fun. He definitely has boats at a higher frequency than us. He has the best trips when we do not. We boat up on the river, which means we really can't go away now. But this is just a check call. We can't. I don't think we can really like check raise for value. But he just had the 3 high anyway. Pretty interesting spot. I guess that's going to work at a pretty high frequency versus a queen or something like that. Other table, he just folded to our lead because he's way too good at poker. Soul reading us over here. This tourney grinder scrub is playing poke. I thought he was trying to practice. Wow. I don't see you trying to play poke heads up. I think I'm doing okay, honestly. I think I'm doing all right. 3 high? Oh. What a time to boat up, right? Like, Doug gets, you know, straights versus our overpair, and we get trips versus garbage. At least turn. That's at least something. Two-thirds is the polar opposite of the nuts. 2-3. 2-3 is the polar opposite of the nuts. This is true. In that instance, it was. He's way too good at poker, or he can see your cards. I'm getting really tired of these euphemisms. That's not even a euphemism. I'm getting tired of the presumption that Doug has any incentive at all whatsoever to look at my cards. This match is just like not as important to him monetarily as it is to anybody else in this chat. I promise you that. We're just gonna check and snap call a bet. Maybe a bet would be better just because he like always calls a 10 or something like that. But he can value bet a jack, he can value bet a 10, he can bluff things like Queen X, King X. I don't think he overbets the pot on the turn with better than your boat on the river. You think? Sure he does. He can do that with ace queen, ace 10, ace king. I mean, better than my boat on the river, sure. It's hard to have better than my rivered boat. There's just not that many combos, but I do think he would play them that way, at least at some frequency. Top pair on this table. River is another deuce. He's got a lot of like jack X that may not bet river. He's got 9x, other pocket pairs perhaps. We're gonna bet. The only bad thing about betting on that card is that the jack is basically like a lot of my draws on the flop improve on turn, so it's sometimes like a little bit hard to see what bluffs we have, but there's kind of like random ace high, so I expect him to call with a bunch of pairs. Anyway, we get ace king here. If he 3-bets, we will be 4-betting. Doug just really needs $700 to pay rent this month. Well, there's easier ways to do that than by playing heads up for it, I think, for him. You could just like launch an upswing course, you know? Chip Extractor says, good luck, buddy. Gotta go eat. Check back in a few. All right. GG, man. Thanks for coming in. Mason says, respect to Matt for playing Doug. Well, thank you. Not gonna value bet these deuces on the king 6-5 board. Just gonna check call. Kind of sucks. You can play a 6 or 5 this way, yeah. Top pair once again with the king over on this table. Doug is not stream sniping for 0.05% of his bankroll. Indeed. I certainly think not. How did you confirm that? Sources needed. To the Doug Polk is watching on a monitor. I just confirmed it. Yeah, I'm still not worried. Still not worried. LOL, someone called you a scrub. I doubt he is one half as much as you. You never know. But it's also just kind of like, anybody calling me a scrub, like, LOL, not so bad at poker, like, it's fine, whatever. But if I wasn't here, you know, every single day trying to get better, I'd never get anywhere. So at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's kind of silly. But I also, it sort of doesn't affect me in the same way that it would in the past, because like, even if I think you're right, I think you're wrong, whatever. Point is, like, my my being here is not so much because I think I'm good at poker, it's because I want to get better at poker. Anyway, we check raise flop here. We're going to bet turn. And just take it down. There's no easier way for Doug Polk to make $700 than playing somebody new heads up. That's why we feel respect for battling in the heads up streets. I mean, that's fair. There are some people who could probably make an easy 700. Even though he's like up 1,000 on me or something like that, I would not call this the easiest way for him to play heads up or to make money. Maybe against some of the super fans who just like want to say they check raise Doug or whatever. If y'all were playing 2040, maybe I'd be worried about stream sniping. Yeah, even then I probably still honestly wouldn't. But I understand like some people don't have as positive an impression of Doug as I do as far as like his integrity goes. Rob Farha. Hey, Mad, longtime fan of the channel. Good to see this Clash of the Titans. Thanks, Rob. Rob's always so positive. Like, I know that it's like probably trolling 85% of the time, but I just can't help it. It makes me feel good anyway. We're gonna peel the 3-bet here. Flop ourselves top pair. Landon no delayed it too. This is true. Landon also played no delay stream versus Doug. Mac Berg says, did you have casinos nearby you when you were of legal age to start playing, or did you start online? Both. So I was playing... This is interesting, his sizing. Kind of bad spot for us. We do pick up some equity, but... we're not, like, happy about this spot. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, I did start out online, but I was in college when the Horseshoe Cleveland Casino opened. So I was 21 when it opened, basically 21, like 6 months before turning 21 maybe. It'll be interesting if he like jams here, yeah. He's seen me peel off in a lot of these spots. But I think we're still gonna peel off. We can have some ace highs here. We block straights at least. This is a bad... I really hate this spot though. Still gonna call though. All right, cool. Nice to win one, and with that we're like probably back to even with Doug, something like that. I kind of feel like one of these times when I call with second pair, he's gonna be like. he's gonna be like sick knit roll. He's also mentioning he might want to end it a little bit early. I'm just kind of trying to get a feel for how early we're talking here. He wants to quit as soon as possible. Okay. We can maybe find another time though, potentially. All right, so unfortunately Doug Polk's not here for the stream, so I get it if he kind of gets sort of bored or whatever. All right, so we got 15 minutes on the clock here. And he's decided 15 is okay. I think he's just getting a little bored, and he's been free betting a lot or getting free bet a lot. I don't know. So we did have the 4 hours clocked, but I get it because like he canceled basically every appointment besides this one. So he's kind of just wants to play and review on his own time. Whoops, resize my table here. Binking. We just whoa. We just check raised flop and get there on turn. A lot of draws still available, so we're gonna use a big size. But looks like we have about 15 more minutes to go. There are a few hearts combos that we lose to here, but we do block some of the more common ones. Jack X of hearts, though, is going to be the most common one, but our hand's still too good to not jam. So we're going to jam. Oh boy, snap is no good. That's pretty annoying. That's what I get for wanting to extend the match, right? We're definitely no longer even with Doug anymore. Not easy to play two tables and keep up with the chat. Yeah, especially when we're running like garbage. Like absolute garbage. Nothing like binking the straight, giving him the back door, and him binking the back door with like I think it was like 1.2x pot behind or something, like just super standard spot. You know, it's one of those things where like I think I think that like playing a match like this, I'm weirdly less affected by the beats, even though like I wouldn't normally play 2-4 heads up. It doesn't happen that often for me. Like I play, you know, reasonably big online, but I play in softer games. I'm not like, oh yeah, let me go play a really good player heads up for a while. But something about this, it just gets you in the zone more. I think being on stream, you get in the zone a little bit more too. So, you know, that's a tough spot, but like I know I made the right play. So we're just going to kind of play out our 15 minutes here and try to turn it around. We're down maybe like 2 buy-ins now. Give or take a couple $100. So 2 buy-ins plus or minus half a buy-in. Have some backdoors going here. We'll call the flop bet. We pick up one of the better cards in the deck. Not the only good card in the deck, obviously. We could potentially check raise turn if we face a barrel. He pots it though. Pretty interesting. I wonder if we could like min click this back, but I think most of his bluffs have too much equity for that, so we don't really want to do that. I think this is a pretty good card to overbet lead. We have 7-8, we have 9-8, we have 10. Well, we might not have 10-7 played this way. I think we're gonna go 1.7-ish. Little over. And get it through, which is nice. Nice life. Of course, these are like, I have to like battle for all of these. I have to battle for all these small pots, but losing the big ones. Gotta make some headway, big pot or small. Ace king on our other table. Looking for that re-raise, but unfortunately he just folds it out. Do you think D-Nex is watching this to see how Doug Polk is playing? No, I do not. He might have other people watching it, possibly. That I could see happening, but that's about it. He's 3-betting a lot. It's probably more likely than Polk stream sniping. Yeah, that I will give you. It is probably more likely. I'm going to check back the 6s with a diamond. Kind of an interesting turn. I don't think we want to bet it with this exact holding. We could maybe bet river if he checks. We'll be snapping this bet though. Man, the guy just flops better pair versus pair a lot. A lot. D-Negs can't stoop to watching the little people play. I've noticed that Polk doesn't really do a lot of 3-betting flop and turn as the aggressor. He mostly just calls and sees another street. I think it's probably so that he doesn't reopen the betting with many of his holdings. Man, he's really 3-betting me a lot, huh? We're going to toss in the 4-bet here. It's a little outside my range, but he's been 3-betting on a much higher frequency lately. So I think he's just getting massively out of line. Because I went from like not really folding to 3-bets much to folding a lot. And it was mostly just based on the range of hands I was getting. But from a game flow perspective, from his point of view, it might look like I'm just kind of like getting a little skittish, maybe because I'm down. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know how he interprets that stuff. That's the kind of like higher level stuff that I'm really curious to know what like really high level players think about it when playing like weaker players. And we'll fold that one. We check back with this very low equity hand on the flop. We pick up a gutter on turn, so we can definitely bet now if he were to check. I think we can also... We have a variety of options depending on his bet size if he bets turn. I think we want to keep a little smaller though. Maybe like 2/3, 2/3. So we bink the straight here after checking back flop. It's not the nuts though. I think I'm just gonna call. He checks. I wonder if he's picked up a queen here ever. I think we want to overbet to make his like one pair hands be in a tougher spot if we want to bluff and also get more value out of this holding. But he just folds, so we'll have some stab give ups there. I kind of feel like Polk is folding me out to the win here. No, never mind. For a while there, it looks like he was just folding. Like 5 hands in a row. Across 2 tables, though. Interesting spot. We pick up 2 pair on the flop as the aggressor on a monotone board. So we definitely want to be betting here. Not going to go massive, though. If Matt Vaughn goes vegan, it'll be vegan versus vegan. DN versus MV. Call out D next. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. 6-7 comes in, but otherwise not a particularly bad card. Gonna bet. Overbetting the pot this match has always been with the goods. Do you ever overbet the pot as a bluff? You missed a lot of hands. I've made a lot of overbet bluffs in this match, actually. Quite a few. We don't want to overbet here with value. There are just too many hands that beat us. We're going to go around 60% pot. Wow, that is a shitty run out. Oh my god. Holy crap. On this table, we lead turn, get raised, which is not fun. He can absolutely have a lot of really strong hands here, including straights, including better 9x, including a few boats. We do run into a boat on river. We lose to 9-6 still. We lose to 6s. We lose to 5s. So if he like jams here, it really sucks. But okay, yeah, we were ahead anyway. But it's like, man, it's a tricky spot. If he were to bet big there, if you were to just rip it. Would you be down for future heads up bouts? Yeah, I'm because he's ending it early, I might see if I can figure out how to finagle my way into playing him again for... I don't think he'll play 2-4 again. I think he'll only play bigger, but I might be able to get some people to get a little of my action and play a bit bigger. Oh, lose to 6s. No, sorry, guys. I'm tired. I don't lose to 6s. Jesus. What do I lose to? 9-6 only. I was thinking of lower boat, under boats somehow. This is what happens when you stream, though. You have to, like, talk kind of smart. And then when you say anything bad, like 30 people are like, what the fuck? Matt's so stupid. He said he loses to 6s with top boat. Like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, chat. The chat pros have bested me. Maybe they're playing Omaha Hold'em. Yeah, Mark's got the right idea. We're playing Omaha Hold'em. Don't even worry about it. We're playing a different game. We got a nice little uptick in the chat. Unfortunately, I gotta say that we're gonna be ending pretty soon here, probably within the next like 5 to 10 minutes. Wow, good friends to take part of your action with negative EV. I think a lot of them, so first of all, a couple people did buy action for this, but I just kind of, I tossed it out there. Like, I didn't need them to buy action to play. I would have played regardless. But they just want the sweat, you know? I don't think anybody thinks I'm like a massive favorite versus Doug, but I don't think I'm a massive dog versus Doug either, which helps. Like, I know you did this for exposure, but severely negative EV. I think you're overestimating how negative EV it is. When you're playing heads up, 2 tables for just a few hours, you just aren't playing enough hands for the edge to really manifest super significantly. We're just going to check call. Our open-ended here. 4's not an amazing card, just because if we hit the 6, it puts a one-liner where we probably get a little bit less equity, but now we sometimes get to bluff. And hey, I forget who it said, who I never overbet bluff, but we're going to overbet bluff here. Which still might get called, but it's a pretty easy overbet spot, I think. He has quite a few just snap folds. We do get picked off this time, though. Heads up 50-50. Yeah, not 50-50. You know, it's like if we play like only 1,000 or a couple thousand hands, like he's probably at least 55% to end the match ahead, maybe more like 60%. But like he's never going to win a ton of buy-ins. Like I've been playing a lot of heads up in the last like month and a half or whatever. And it's just like, it's pretty hard for him to win a lot of dollars in a short heads up match. Man, we're not really flopping much, huh? Overall, how much are you up currently? I am not up right now. Minus 10 to 15 BB per 100 at 2-4. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I actually don't know if his call with a 3 there is particularly good. I think he wants to have... Well, he might just think I'm overbet bluffing a lot, but he hasn't caught me with overbet bluffs much yet, so it's an interesting spot. Top pair here. Doug is literally down money. People are acting like he's unbeatable. If you were real, you'd play poke heads up in street craps. I have played craps once in my life, and it was mildly enjoyable, but I don't really know what street craps would look like. Or heads up street craps. Like, are you playing for who wins the most money individually? Like, it's just score versus score? I thought the 44 overbet bluff was perfect. Yeah, no. By the way, him calling doesn't make my line bad. It just means that he called. I have a lot of 6x there. And my sizing allows me to... bluff at a high frequency. And it's not, like, unprofitable. Calling with a 3 makes sense at a decent frequency. Yeah, but he doesn't have to call a lot of his range against that size, so I think he has a lot of better holdings to call with. If he calls a 3, it implies he's calling with a pretty big percentage of his range. So I'm not saying his call is outrageous. I don't think it's a bad call per se, but it is definitely kind of on the line where I think that hands that block more of my 6x make better fundamental calls. And he's also not that high up in his range either. We're going to lead this card as well. He calls, and River's a bad card. We probably just have to check call, though. He has pairs that could turn into a bluff. He has ace high that could turn into a bluff. He probably doesn't... I don't even know if he value bets spades. If he does, it's like a very easy call, but I don't think he does. Yeah, too bad. Bad river for us. I think we are really coming up on our time here, though. He said 15 minutes about 18 minutes ago. So I'm not going to, like, pester him about leaving, but I'll check in a couple minutes to see if he wants to wrap things up. How about laser tag? But I might end the stream and put on a new delay stream and just play some cash games on Color Up, because that's what I probably would be doing anyway. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys want to watch some more streams? It won't be Heads Up with Doug, but it'll be fun. It will at least be fun. Let's see. Let's see what's running. Let's see if anything's running I want to play. If 2-5 PLO is running, we're definitely putting on like a 3-minute delay and going ham. Absolutely. I think we have an okay candidate to blast off here. Oh shit, I bet $4 by mistake. Saved me money, I guess. Over here we make the nuts, which is nice. And now any queen makes a straight. So I think we want to blast pretty massive here. At least pot. Do you think he'd fold the 3 versus a smaller size, half pot versus the overbet? No, because on that board, it's a polarizing board in general. I don't think the board itself, like, I don't think the bet itself stands alone. I think it's sort of the combination. But the board itself lends itself to overbets more. What is Color Up Poker? Can Americans play? Yes, Color Up is open to Americans only, actually. So we pick up flush draw and gutter along with our top pair here. River doesn't change the board a whole lot. Stream Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix game on the Wii. I think we're just calling with top pair here. We block straights as well. All right, and that's it. So we are going to call it there versus Doug. Oh, he said let's even the buttons. Oops. I'm going to play one last one versus Doug. These are good action, reliable cash outs. Yeah, action's good on color up, and the cash outs are, if you do Bitcoin, it's all like next day, basically. You can also buy and sell player funds through other players. So there's like player transfers, basically. We have open-ended here in this 3-bet pot. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely blast here. It would be certainly reasonable. We would just jam if we do that. We'll go for it. Wow, that sucks. Lovely way to end it. Just getting totally murdered. Shove to show dominance and get snapped by better. And brick it. All right, guys. Well, we are definitely down now by a healthy amount. Kind of shitty way to end the stream. I think it's pretty straightforward, though. We could certainly call give up river, but like we give ourselves a way to win the hand. The fact that he snaps ace king, though, is concerning. Like, I'm not sure how many like worse hands besides our exact holding he has there. Like, I'm trying to think how many hands he can even double barrel. I guess there was a flush draw that turned, so he has a lot more like logical double barrel bluffs, like 9-8 suited, 7-8 suited that pick up equity. So it's like, it makes sense. And he only blocks like a couple combos of king queen or ace queen or whatever that I should be doing that with. He doesn't block 9-8 or anything like that. I was thinking it was a 4-bet pot at first, but no, it was just a 3-bet pot. Postle snap. No, that's no postle snap. I think it makes sense. He had ace jack, didn't he? No, he had ace king. He had ace king high. I don't think it is a bad call, but it's not a fun spot for me. I think we both play it fairly standard. I could certainly raise flop instead, but I prefer to call versus small sizes for the most part on that board. It just like protects the weaker part of my range. But yeah, seems, oh my god, dude, ACR is so crazy. Like, look at this shit. They want me to risk/win my stack right now. Isn't that crazy? Like I'm not just gonna flip for my stack right now, and I have to click close the table again. So dumb. So dumb. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this stream. Let's see what is running on. Actually, let's see what's running on color up. If there's like not much running, I won't bother, but PLO, I don't know. What did you guys want me to play? Does that being the last hand have any merit? LOL. I mean, I think that the fact that it's the last hand just shows that, like, he's not going to push, but he might think I could push there. That, like, I could sort of be trying to get back to a win or close to a win, which I wasn't really doing. Like, I would much rather lock up a small loss than a big loss. But overall, I would say that it doesn't affect much when we both know it's sort of a limited session anyway. Kelby says, just signed up to color up. Take my rake, daddy. Oh, everybody wants PLO, huh? All right, well, if we're gonna stream some PLO, I have to put a delay on because people can actually stream snipe me now. But I'll fire up a little bit of a small stream since we only ended up like 2.5 hours instead of 4. I think that people want you to play PLO, Matt. All right, so don't go too far away, but it will have to be a new stream. So just be aware of that. I'm gonna have to close this one down to introduce the delay, and then I'll go hang out on some PLO for a while. I just want to give a big shout out to everybody who's been in chat: Gwyn, Carl, Dubstyle, Kelby, Ryan, Alaska Guy, Mac, Alexi, Pain for All. We got Bobby in there, Andrew, Def, Tim O, Jimmy Beck, Mac Berg, the Poker Robot, many more. Thank you guys all for being here. Thanks for hanging out. It's really just been a blast to have the ability to play this and hang out with so many people in chat. It's pretty rare to get so many viewers for me. So that's been really fun and nice. And yeah, I think I'm just going to pop up the new stream with maybe like a short delay and do that for a little while. I don't necessarily have 4 more hours in me, but I can probably go a little while, and we'll see how that goes. So thank you guys all once again, and I'll see you next time.